Alright folks, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the FiiO E17 Alpen digital to analog converter and headphone amp, or DAC to be short, as they're commonly known in the YouTube and gaming community. So I'm just going to give a little review on what I thought of the DAC. Now, initially taken out of the box, I do have to say the build quality on this model is absolutely fantastic. I thought that it would actually be a lot lighter than it is. However, it is not heavy, but you can tell that the build quality is definitely there. Looking on the surface and the back of the item, we can see the brushed metal finish that adds to the aesthetics of the product. The FiiO E17 Alpen has a backlit display. The power button switches between purple and blue in colour. It shows up purple when it's being used via USB. It also appears blue when it's running off its own battery. The DAC itself features a rechargeable battery that we charge via USB and can be used on the move, so the DAC is also portable. You can use it with any smartphone or iPod or any kind of portable device to drive that audio on the move. One thing I do have to say about using the FiiO E17 is that it's actually not that hard to use. Looking at the top of the DAC, we have two imports and a reset button. One of the ports is for your headphones or earphones, and that's a 3.5mm jack. And the other one is SP-Diff in. Now that would be used for the likes of games consoles or for PCs. If your motherboard has an SP-Diff out, you can use that to pick up some game audio and put it straight into the DAC. At the bottom of the DAC we have a auxiliary input for the likes of your iPods or your smartphones that can go straight in. And we have a little FiiO mini dock attachment for an adapter if you ever want to dock it. And a mini USB that we use to recharge the rechargeable battery on the DAC. At the side of the DAC we have a low bypass. Looking at the back of the product, we can see obviously the model name and where it was made and different things about it. If we look and see the four screws here, these can be taken out obviously to get inside the unit if you ever have to replace the rechargeable battery, but looking online it seems to be that these DACs last for a very long time. Included with the DAC there is little rubber feet that you can put on yourself to stop it sliding. However, I haven't put these on yet. You also get two rubber bands that hold the DAC in place if you ever want to put it, behind your smartphone or your iPod when you're on the move to stop it slipping or moving away from the device. Enough of talking about the aesthetics of the DAC. I'm going to just run through some of the options here as to what's included. So looking straight down at the face of the DAC, we have several buttons. We have the plus and minus buttons for volume control or for changing different options in the menu. We have the power button or exit button. We have the menu button. We have the input button, which changes inputs obviously from the likes of USB to coaxial to optical to auxiliary. And last but not least, we have a hold button that you can push down to lock the DAC so that you don't press any buttons when it's in your pocket. Looking down a sideways profile of the FiiO E17, we can see that there are beveled edges all around the product. This adds to the overall look and feel of the device. So going into the menus, we can see treble, bass and balance that we can all change. They actually move up and down in increments of 2 that go from 10 to -10. We also have gain, where we can have the reference level of 0 decibels, or we can add 6 or 12 decibels to that gain. There's a function for turning on and off the USB charge. Like I mentioned before, you'll know that it's charging when there's a purple button showing up on the device. There's a sleep mode if you want to use it for the likes of running time of the DAC. If it's not being used, you can turn the device off. Maximum volume, you can change that if you don't want to blow your eardrums. 60's the maximum, I think. There's a volume memory setting so that when you turn the device off and on again, you can actually save the volume that you've last been using in the settings, but I keep that off. Then for the likes of system, we can go in here and we can check our firmware versions. We can check our runtime, which is essentially the battery life, after it's been charged. And we can also take a look and revert back to default settings if we wish. As far as balance goes, I'm not looking to change the panning of the music that I'm listening to, but with the likes of treble and bass, obviously I'm using headphones that are fairly bass orientated. That's the JVC headphones that I did the review on my channel earlier on. So I've got the bass down pretty low, and I've got the treble up to about 4. And then I've turned the gain the full way up, just simply because I think gain's fucking awesome, as long as you're not going to be a plank about it and turn the volume up too high and bust the unit. I usually find for the likes of listening to it with the likes of the PC and the iPod, I like to keep the volume in around 25 to 27. I think that threshold's fairly safe for me, and it doesn't seem to be hurting the unit any. The great thing about DACs is that you can obviously adjust the sound and the gain without distorting the sound too much. I've noticed a complete increase in quality for everything that I've been listening to. I downloaded a FLAC version of the new Steven Wilson album, and I've been listening to it and trying it with the DAC and some old recordings, some old blues and rock recordings, and I have to say the DAC has seriously impressed me on that. Some of the Apple lossless, the ALAC codec songs I've got on my iPod, I've been messing around with them as well on the move, and I'm impressed with that. And I've tried the DAC with the likes of Dead Space and the likes of Battlefield, but I've only been using the headphone in. I haven't been using the SPDIF because my motherboard doesn't support that type of audio type. So obviously, as far as directional audio goes, I'm not getting the full ins and outs with the likes of 5.1 or 7.1 or anything like that. So yeah, it has obviously bettered the onboard sound that I'm using, because essentially what digital to analog converters and headphone amps are is their external sound cards. And for anybody that likes their audio or really wants to upgrade their audio setup in any way and to really be blown away by the quality, I would definitely recommend the FiiO E17 Alpen. FiiO, I had only ever heard of them through Joker Productions, because he's actually using a FiiO DAC himself and he recommended them to me. Now, looking at FiiO, they're an up and coming audio company, but I just have to say, on all levels, the E17 for me, can't be beat for the price. Like, I couldn't imagine myself without this product now, and I do have to say I just love it. Even on the move with the iPod, it makes a hell of a difference. So anybody that's thinking about changing their audio setup, or needs a recommendation for a DAC, then I can definitely say the E17 might be for you. So that's going to round up my video, folks, on the review for the FiiO E17 Alpen DAC amp. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you really enjoyed my content, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me out an awful lot. You can follow me anytime at Facebook and Twitter at ForTheBanterNI. Until next time, my friends, goodbye.